In today's day and age, as we've heard extensively from pretty much every angle, mobile is becoming such an integral part of our life, a remote control for life, that you can't ignore it. On the other hand, we're not going to say that mobile is necessarily the answer, but it's an enabler to so many things. We can't afford as retailers to have any kind of service failure, because that little Twitter tool over there, where we can say things like the service is up and down, and like, you know what, that isn't a good thing to have said about your brand, but luckily they were sufficiently on the ball to respond fairly quickly. If I go into a shop who has told me as a consumer that I will be able to buy certain merchandise and I can't, that makes me cross. Because in today's day and age, I expect that. So that's become suddenly not just a slight barrier to sales, but actually something we'll complain about. The next area, of course, is poorly presented stores. If I walk in and biggest bugbear is the sales, and it looks like a jumble sale, I just disengage and say, get me out of this mess. And I think that you'll find that the consumers are struggling to sort through the sale rails, for instance, and find the stock they need. They just haven't got the time. Presentation speeds up the process. And as we're all so busy and we're all so pressured, we don't want to have to go to find what we want to find. We want it to find us, ideally. For a specialist to be able to integrate that online experience, that interactive, that self-service, but in a store environment, really brings everything together. As consumers, they want to tell people if they've had a very good experience or a bad experience. And I think, as we heard this morning from William Hill, somewhere in the middle between not that good, not that bad, they don't really say anything at all. But by giving the transparency, the customer is feeling that the retailer is willing to share access with their previous customers and engage their trust in order to help them make their purchase. The socially connected consumer can get access to information about things that are happening now, things that have happened very recently, not material that perhaps might be in print media or on much more static websites. So it's much more about, well, you know, what's going on, how does it feel, what does it look like, and asking other people. One way will be success and the other way will be failure. And I think, as we've seen in the market, there isn't really anybody in the middle anymore. There are people falling over and there are people doing very well. And that's to do, in my opinion, with the fact that they've either got the optimised processes and are delivering on the service promise, they've engaged with the right technologies to reach their customers in the optimal way, and by having engaged with the right technologies, they are then continuing the conversations to keep informed, to keep on the ball with what customers are saying, and to maintain that relationship of loyalty and trust so that the customers feel that there isn't a need to go elsewhere, that they'll be quite happily serviced by the retailer that they've chosen to be loyal to.